Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me here today. I am, of course, Gregor Guy, depending upon how you know me. Now, we will go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Casey has decided to go start his own YouTube channel. So, obviously, go and subscribe to his channel. It is, and I will try and find a link and leave it in the description, because when I searched it, there were like 6 or 8 different end channels on the YouTube. So hopefully I'll be able to even put the right one down there. But either way, moving forward from that, I'm sure at some point in time we will do a future, collaboration. But in the meantime, it is going to realistically be a solo effort moving here forward. That being said, welcome to episode 38 of the Bangcast. What are we going to be talking about here this week? This is probably going to be a little bit of a different Bangcast. Kind of almost like a throwback to some of our starting points and everything. It's more or less just going to be me kind of discussing with myself the headlines that have been coming out here this past week, we will say. So, what's the main thing that is going on here this week? Obviously, it's got to be the fact that Russia has called for a partial mobilization, which is also the first time that they have called for any kind of mobilization since World War II. It's very interesting with the entire Ukraine situation. Now, I do believe that they are calling up reservists. They are instituting a draft. And they plan on sending 300,000 more troops into Ukraine. Now, that's a lot of troops. At the same point in time, I've already been hearing stories that Russian citizens are breaking their arms, breaking their legs. They are injuring themselves in order to avoid this draft. So, how popular is this decision? I can't really answer that for you. It'd be nice to speak with, someone from Russia who could actually, a Russian citizen who could fill us in on what the sentiment is in that particular area. That would actually be great. However, I've also heard that in light of this, President Zelensky of Ukraine is attempting to sue for peace. I didn't really hear too much more on the story other than that. I don't know whether it was suppressed or whether it was just, fake news, or I just don't know. That's just what I heard, one time. Also, on top of that, speaking on the entire Russia mobilization thing, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, quote, leader of the free world, he addressed the United Nations. And oh my, it was some kind of speech. Sure enough. Not like the speech, but it was some kind of speech. Basically, what I kind of gathered from it was he called on every single United Nations country to aid Ukraine and basically kick Russia out of the UN. I mean, that's obviously generalizing, and it was not set in those particular terms. I'm just being like harsh about what I heard. I mean, Russia, think about this. Russia is one of the 8 countries on the United Nations Security Council. How do you kick one of the 8 nations on the Security Council out of the United Nations? I don't understand the logic here. I don't know. I mean, at some point in time, I mean, these two individuals, in my mind, they just need to sit down and have a discussion and be like, hey, look, we don't like what you're doing here. It's like, well, I'm going to keep doing it. And then just lay out what the fuck is going to happen so, at least the people can stop, like, puckering their buttholes, quite honestly. On top of that, I don't have the individual's name, but it's somewhat very close to the Putin circle. She is the editor in chief of the Russian state news, and she posted on social media that Putin is all in for a conflict with NATO. What that means, I hate to leave up to speculation, but it does not sound good, in particular to me. Sounds almost like a perfect recipe for like a powder keg to go off, and I mean, realistically, I mean, what do you even do with that? If the president, the leader of Russia, wants to get involved in a conflict with NATO, where does that leave the where does that leave the world? Also, at the same point in time, I wonder if he's trying to call NATO's bluff. Oh, I'd hate to play that man in poker. Anyway, moving on. Another question that I, thought to myself, like, where is China in all this? Because I heard rumblings that they were kind of like trying to press Russia into ending this entire, like, the Ukraine conflict and everything, which realistically to me didn't make any sense. But once again, is that just like more or less kind of like a propaganda thing, or just like misinformation? Or, I mean, are they really trying to press them to end the Ukrainian conflict? Honestly, I don't know. I wish I could give you people out there better answers. This is kind of just speculation, but I would assume that with Russia tanking their national currency like well over 30% since the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine, I think that, this is my personal opinion, I believe that China is kind of feeling some side effects of that because they're probably having to pay 30% more for Russian oil, Russian natural gas, energy services and everything. So they're probably wanting that to stop because, let's be honest, China is also not in a very good financial situation. I wonder, honestly, if the next war that's going to come is not going to be an actual armed conflict, but whether or not it's going to be a financial war on a massive scale. I don't even know what that would look like. This is just me spitballing in my head. what would that look like? I can tell you that normal everyday citizens, much like me and you out there watching, would probably take the brunt of that assault. The only other thing that I have on the entire Russia Ukraine stuff is there are apparently annexation votes going on in, I believe, the Donbass and I think it's Luhansk areas. Probably butchered those names, so don't chew me up in the comments. For basically those two particular regions seceding to Russia. Now, my question is this. If they are still at this point in time in Russian controlled territory, how do those particular votes go down? In other words, are the citizens of that region holding the vote? The other question is, first of all, who gets the vote? Who gets to vote? Do the citizens get to vote? Do the soldiers in the area get to vote? Do the officials that are governing the area from Russia get to vote? I'm not really sure how all that is supposed to work. I mean, honestly, like I said, it just seems very, very shady. In particular, after this counteroffensive that Ukraine has initiated and has been, slowly pushing the Russian lines back, that now all of a sudden they're having an annexation vote. Like I said, it just seems super, super, super shady. And that also makes me wonder whether or not it will be a corrupt vote. I guess you really can't call that election because they're not really electing an official. They're just voting to join Russia, I guess, at this point in time. And then the other question is whether or not Zelensky will allow this. Even if they do vote to, I guess, technically secede from Ukraine to Russia. I mean, these are all tough questions. On top of that, there's just a layer of fog, I guess you will say, of, potential corrupt behavior with this, intended annexation vote. This is my personal opinion, obviously. But I think they will. I think you will hear anyway that they have voted. Once again, still don't know who votes to, secede to Russia. Personal opinion. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't know. It has, obviously, now this is an annexation vote, but it just seems very similar to elections that we have had in the United States in the past. Just draped in drama. Possible, I'll go ahead and say it, corruption. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens from here on out. Although that will be one of the things that I am watching very closely. So, either way, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone out there who is engaged in conflict at this point in time, whether you want to be there or whether you don't want to be there. That's all I'll say on that. Now, What I want to do is I want to particularly address all of the people out there on the social medias, on the YouTubes, on the Twitters, on the Facebooks, on whatever social media, website, internet website, doesn't matter, that was calling the Rings of Power woke trash. You people are fucking dumb. That is a great series. It is a great show. I have been watching it. I have been enjoying it. And other than, I mean, what are you calling woke trash in it? Are you calling the black elf, just because they have a black elf? Are you calling it woke trash because they have a black elf? And in fact, I wish I had Cindy on here right now, because she told me that there were, in fact, dark-skinned elves, because she has read all the books. So, I mean, I don't understand why you just want to get, like, angry and upset about dumb shit. Either way, I am going to go ahead and tell you right here, look at me. It is not woke trash. If you have not been watching it because you have heard it is woke trash, you, once again, have been lied to. And that also leads me to the House of Dragons. Also, another show that I've been watching. Also, another show that I heard was woke trash. And also, another show that has been discounted, in my opinion, as woke trash. Now, it should be noted that there is a cast change coming up. It should actually have already probably happened by the time this episode comes out, but they jump like years and years and years in episodes, and that's the only thing that I find hard to keep up with. But shout out once again, Cindy, for filling in the blanks for me. To be honest, shit, me and you, Cindy, we should do like a fill-in thing to fill in the episodes to make it all make more sense. Just tell everyone what you just told me. What you told me. God damn. It's a good idea. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, back to the whole woke trash. I don't understand where this even came from, quite honestly. We all know what Game of Thrones was. I mean, there was always, some form of, LGBT, kind of stuff in Game of Thrones. It's always been there. Ever since the original series on HBO that we have all seen, most of us have loved, obviously, except for the last season. But I don't understand where all this, hatred comes out before these TV shows even premiere. I can't comprehend it. How can you even comment on something before you've even seen it? What are you people? I don't know. It's just mind-boggling to me. I got to call out Casey on this one, because he was like, hey, right before Ring of Power came out, he was like, hey, go ahead and enjoy watching that. It's woke trash. What do you know? You haven't even watched it. And then he called me up after 2 episodes. I was like, how's Rings of Power? I was like, it's fucking good. He's like, oh, yeah. Changing your attitude now, huh? I mean, if we as a society, okay, hear me out. If we as a society, instead of just listening to what someone else says on social media or a video sharing platform, and actually just watch an episode before we make a decision, we would all be in a better state, I would say. Who knows? Maybe we could all just get along. I think that's a Beatles song. Could be wrong there. But also, going back to House of Dragons, the younger characters that we have all, kind of, grown on us and everything, they're all about to get traded out for older characters. So expect a large jump in age. This, obviously, today is Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday, so the next episode comes out Sunday. I think it'll be episode 6. So expect a different looking cast, we will say. I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than that. I just get so mad and frustrated about people saying stuff like, "Oh, let's woke trash" before it's even out. It's actually kind of infuriating. So, I guess that I will just go ahead and end episode 38 of the Bangcast right here, right now. I don't even know if I'm going to call it the Bangcast anymore. There's no one to cast with. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm of course Gregor Guy. If you found any bit of this content enjoyable, remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And feel free to comment. So everyone out there watching, enjoy the rest of your week.